For you to be able to sustain meditation as a practice in your life, you want to be able to understand what thoughts and brain waves and how they affect meditation and also how they're affecting you. So first of all, let's talk about thoughts. During meditation, there's a lot of time a misconception that you're supposed to be thoughtless. And this isn't actually true. Your brain thinks involuntarily, just like your heart beats involuntarily. It is its job to think. Quieting your brain is done by the mantra, but in meditation, you're still going to think, and thoughts are going to arise. And by doing meditation, we're starting to connect with the subconscious mind. And when you connect with the subconscious mind, some thoughts that come up may not be something you've thought about in a very long time. But it's important to remember that the content of the thought is not necessarily important. A lot of times when the thought comes up, this is something that's actually leaving your body. So it's reducing the stressors inside of you by having this thought come up and then using the mantra to bring yourself back down into this alpha wave state. So thoughts are not a bad thing. If you have thoughts, it's okay. This is a part of this meditation. And the meditation is only going to drive you to actually have more positive thoughts as we start to release some of the negative thoughts that you've attached yourself to with emotions that make you feel lesser than. So the one thing I always like to say is that you should know that your thoughts are not you. Again, with your brain thinking, it's developing these thoughts based off the experiences that you have. But again, if your thoughts were you, when you actually acted on a thought and you felt pain, then why do you feel pain? Pain comes from your soul. So if your thoughts are actually you, then when you acted on something and you felt pain, then that would be a direct correlation. The pain is the marker for you to know that, man, that's not really what I intended. That's really you. And that's what we need to recognize during meditation. So let's talk about the brain waves. The ones that are important for meditation here are beta, alpha, and theta. Now, beta is what you're experiencing and what I'm experiencing right now. This is our waking state. If we are having a conversation back and forth, we are in beta. Now, the point of meditation is actually to bring you from beta into alpha. And the alpha wave state is an amazing place to be. This is where peacefulness is felt. This is where creativity can be sparked. This is where an overwhelming feeling, again, connecting with your consciousness, that everything is going to be okay. And this peace that you feel momentarily then starts to translate into your waking world when you come out of meditation. Now, the deeper you get, we can get down into theta waves. Now, there's plenty of examples of you actually getting into a theta wave state when you're in your waking state. When you're driving, for instance, and you come to a red light and you can't remember how you got to that red light. Well, that's because you were so lost in your thoughts, but in the thoughts, you were in a very non-judgmental bubble. A lot of times we do this when we think about the future, like a conversation that we're going to have or something that we're going to do. This can also be experienced in the shower. You ever take a shower and then you get done, you don't remember whether you washed your hair or your body because you're so lost in thought. You were actually in a different state of consciousness. So you were in theta and then you came to beta, and because you were in a completely different state of consciousness coming back into beta, a lot of times we forget what we were thinking about. The last place, and this is going to be a little bit more prevalent and has more to do with correlation of meditation, is right before you go to sleep. Right before you actually fall asleep, your brain starts creating imagery. And this is theta waves being produced by your brain. So when we do our meditation, it brings us from beta into alpha. And this is, again, is what we could call the bliss state or the peaceful state. As we get deeper into meditation, you may find yourself into theta. Now, with this style of meditation, we want to avoid falling asleep. And we're going to talk about how you should position your body in meditation so you don't fall asleep, because the next step is actually going into sleep. But a lot of times you're going to hang out right in here between alpha and theta. And this is where creativity can be sparked. Matter of fact, Alexander Graham Bell had a method that was a meditative method. He would sit in a chair and he would hold a brass ball. And underneath it was a brass plate. And he would nod off, and as he would nod off into theta, he would drop the brass ball. It would bang on the plate, and he had a journal in front of him. And whatever imagery was created during that time, he would write down what he saw. And he has said that half of his 80 plus inventions came from this method. So this was a very primitive way of doing this practice that we have put together in a way that's easy to understand for you. So this is how brain waves and actually what your brain is going to be doing during meditation. And remember that the content or the thoughts are not important. The fact that you're having thoughts, don't judge yourself for them. They're a part of the meditation, and they're just releasing out of your subconscious so you can come out of meditation feeling revived, refreshed, and ready to tackle the day.